This is an event that should have never happened.
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service is responsible for the protection of the former president.
So the buck stops with you?
The buck stops with me. I am the director of the Secret Service. It was unacceptable, and it's something that shouldn't happen again.
The President and Homeland Security Secretary said today they had 100% confidence in you, but there are some members of Congress calling on you to resign.
I appreciate the Secretary's comments, and we're going to continue to be transparent and communicate with people.
You plan to stay on? Absolutely.
I do plan to stay.
What the fuck? Well, howdy folks, this is Victor, your friendly neighborhood watchman, with you today to talk about the assassination attempt of former President Donald J. Trump. And unless you've been living under a rock for the past week, you know of all the bewildering, just mind-boggling circumstances surrounding the assassination attempt and how someone can carry a rifle to an event and get so close with there being a line of sight toward the target, the stage where the target would be. Besides, information changes every day. First it was 1 minute, 3 minutes. Now it's up to 28 minutes. They knew of this would-be assassin's peculiar behavior on the premises. He had a rangefinder. A police officer observed him with a rangefinder, called it in to the Secret Service, and then he lost sight of him. Too many situations were overlooked for it to be accidental. I don't want this to be a conspiracy theory, but plenty of people have been coming to this conclusion. Unless it was a case of astronomical, catastrophic, and unfortunate set of coincidences. The sloped roof nonsense was a lie.
Duh.
Which Secret Service Director Cheadle has mentioned as it being the roof being too sloped to be used by Secret Service agents. It's too dangerous.
Should that roof have been secure, period?
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so, the decision was made to secure the building from inside.
Asinine. In fact, the counter team was on a much greater slope than the would-be assassin. And former snipers have said that it's an advantage to have a slope.
Slightly sloped roof, which apparently, according to Cheadle's, was such a slope as if it was Everest. They couldn't get on it. I can tell you, as a counter sniper, we would get on roofs that were far greater, as far as its slope, and it was great because you could hang your bipod over the edge of it and get a very stable platform that you could pull back against. And so that was an excuse.
But folks, I've said enough. I want to dive into this article and read it with you for the first time. This being by well-known conservative commentator Dan Bongino, a former Secret Service agent himself, and he writes an op-ed on the New York Post with the heading, "Former Secret Service Agent, I'm shocked by level of failure in Trump shooting." And to quickly add, these iconic photos of a defiant Trump, I just heard that, of course, coming from the leftist mainstream media, advising one another, the news media that is, to stop showing these iconic photos of Donald Trump because it will be used for propaganda purposes. And these scumbags have no shame. They just can't take it. It is iconic. Trump acted bravely, and they wish it was one of their people.
Come on, man. How many push-ups you want to do here, pal?
But it isn't, and it eats them up, and they know it. We'll choke on it, suckers, because we're going to be showing it. Matter of fact, it's going to be my thumbnail to this video. So without further ado, let's read this shit.
Without further ado, let's do this shit!
Daddy, chill.
Let me be absolutely clear. The assassination attempt on President Trump was a catastrophic failure on the part of the United States Secret Service. I spent 12 years in the Secret Service, working under President George W. Bush and President Barack Hussein Obama. And after analyzing the footage, it's clear that glaring mistakes were made. Yeah, I could have told you that.
Whatever.
Mistakes that had Trump's head been just centimeters in the wrong direction, would have resulted in the former president bleeding out on national television. As I see it, there are three central problems plaguing the Secret Service agency, which contributed to the nearly successful assassination attempt on Trump and will impact future investigations into the matter. The first issue is a lack of manpower and security equipment. How is it that multiple layers of law enforcement missed a man scaling the roof of a building less than 500 feet from the president? And why didn't the security personnel heed the warnings of rallygoers who were caught on video alerting agents to the shooter? I don't know, because they think they're above the commoners? Hubris, maybe? If the shooter on the roof was clearly visible to the attendees on the ground, then he should have been visible to the security team on the ground. Oh, he was, as we're finding out. Here's what I can tell you. Security personnel close to former President Trump reached out to me long before the assassination attempt to tell me Trump's security team had repeatedly requested a larger security footprint, but they were repeatedly rebuffed. Sure, tell me you were hoping there'd be an assassination attempt on Trump without telling me you were hoping there will be an assassination attempt on Trump.
He ain't lying.
When I went public with this information, USSS spokesman Anthony Guglielmi claimed Sunday that the assertion that a member of the former president's team requested additional security resources and that those were rebuffed by the agency is absolutely false. Someone is lying, and between Guglielmi and my source, I trust my source. Guglielmi also said the agency, quote, added protective resources and technology and capabilities as part of the increased campaign travel tempo, end quote. What enhancements? A drone? I was going to say, I didn't see any drone. Infrared? Is this the best you can do for the former and likely future president of the United States? I've seen better security technology at a Turning Point USA conference. No joke. Not only that, but now we've come to know that Iran would love to assassinate former President Donald Trump. And we know, or we don't know, just how many Iranians, along with countless thousands of illegals, have crossed the border from hostile countries. So this was before Trump's security team has been reinforced now, after he was almost killed. And for those people commenting on how they wish the shooter didn't miss, well, he did, and he's dead now. So choke on that, bitches.
Money blow! Money blow!
Don't tell me it's a budgetary issue. This year's federal budget is $6.9 trillion. How many of that is wasted? We don't want to know. No, we do want to know, but we ain't going to know. We ain't going to find out. How many billions to Ukraine again? The federal government squanders inconceivable amounts of Americans' hard-earned tax dollars. Believe that.
Inconceivable!
The government has more than enough taxpayer funding to protect former President Trump and Kennedy, thank you, which now he is getting the protection after being denied. Why? Because they pressured into it. But I digress. Here's the hard reality. You can't blame inadequate funding for incompetent and corrupt management. This brings me to problem number 2, failed leadership. In 2023, Biden appointed Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, who now we've learned is a friend of Joe Biden, and whose claw-like hands was involved in her hiring for this position. Gasp! Biden appointed Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, committed to guaranteeing that 30% of the Secret Security Agency's recruits are women by 2030. Here we go with that DEI bullshit again. These DEI numbers can only be achieved by Cheadle by trading merit for quotas and therefore lowering the quality of personnel. Understand that DEI quotas are always unfair. But when they're deployed in a Secret Service, people will get hurt. Cheadle should immediately resign, don't hold your breath, and cooperate in any investigations into her action. House Committee on Oversight and Accountability Chair Representative James Comer has called on Cheadle to testify at a hearing on Monday, July 22nd. Good. There should be full federal and congressional investigations done by people with the highest integrity. Unfortunately, integrity has been hard to come by the current management of the FBI.
Yep.
I couldn't agree more. What's about, we still waiting on our manifesto from that trans murderer of kids and innocent teachers? And how about the assassination on JFK over 60 years ago, and the public can't handle it? We're not privy to it. This isn't what the founding fathers envisioned in our government, in this country, to have secrets upon secrets, hiding behind what the government declares as, quote, classified, unquote, top secret. Get out of here with that bullshit.
Stay on target.
To repeat, there should be full federal and congressional investigations done by people with the highest integrity. Unfortunately, integrity has been hard to come by within the current management of the FBI, the agency tasked with investigating the assassination attempt, and who unfortunately has a would-be assassin's phone, which took him a couple of days to break into, I may add. This is the third issue, the politicization of an agency that necessitates, arguably above all others, political neutrality. One of the finest agents I worked with while in the Secret Service once told me, quote, an uneventful failure is not a success, end quote. And this is the worst kind of uneventful failure. A would-be assassin nearly killed President Trump, did murder an innocent MAGA supporter, and critically injured two other radicals, which the left totally don't care about, and privately cheer, I'm sure. Not all, but some, because we're a basket of deplorables after all.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Fuck you.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represented extremism.
This was no victory. Any spokesperson or talking head who overlooks the glaring mistakes made Saturday, or who tries to paint the assassination attempt as a Secret Service success story, is lying through their teeth and does not deserve your attention or respect. The Secret Service's motto is, quote, worthy of trust and confidence, end quote. After this major security failure, trust and confidence have been lost. I believe in a Secret Service agency, and I believe there's always time for redemption, but it's going to take serious reform within a rotting agency before the public begins to believe in the SSA's motto again. Well, there you have it, folks, from the mind of an ex-Secret Service agent. And as we are wont to do on my videos, when opportunity permits, we will read some reader comments. First up, from Nita Bryce, we have, you, Dan Bongino, are the only person I wanted to hear from as soon as this happened. I'm a woman, and I am totally against women in positions where physical strength is a requirement, and that includes all levels of law enforcement, firefighting, and military. I'm a CPA. I'm 77 years old. When I became a CPA, there were practically no women in the field. There was no reason to reject women, but I can't compete physically with men. God bless you, Dan. Keyshawn McNappy replies, you are right. There are some jobs women are better suited for, and some jobs men are better suited for. Men and women are different. Not better or worse, just different. Hire the best person for the job. Exactly, regardless of race, color, or creed, and sex. Also, you never see women clamoring to be included as sanitation workers. Nobody is pledging there should be 50% women at the sewage treatment plant or the coal mines. Excellent point. Next up, we have from Quint's Quarry. This does not come down to lack of manpower or equipment. If I only had a 2-person team, I would have covered that roof. Lorax 2 opines, I am not a security expert, but I was a manager. My first question to someone applying for a job as head of security would be, should a rooftop within 160 yards and a line of sight to the stage be covered? If they answered no, I would say end of interview. The head of the Secret Service was hired because Joe Biden said so, not because he's qualified. Bingo!
Bingo!
That's what I said at the beginning of the video. SFS comments, Dr. Jill and Cheeto post a woman for DEI. Last but not least, Century One replied, Fox News reported yesterday and confirmed this with the White House. Mayorkas kept the Secret Service contingent assigned to Trump small and backfilled it with Homeland Security agents. Begs the question, why? There's a story here. Great point, Century One, and I concur. Well, folks, we come to the end of this video, and as always, if you agree with the point of this article with Dan Bongino, if you agree with my comments, if you agree with the readers' comments, then hit that like button and support this channel by subscribing. If you haven't already done so, feel free to comment and opine, share your thoughts, and hit the notification bell so that you'll always be forewarned whenever I'm about to drop another video. And as always, stay safe, and I bid you peace.